Hello YouTube, my name is Sean Connors and welcome back to the Outsiders channel. This is a quick reply video to the same old G in two quick parts. And the first one is he was talking about in his video, and I'll leave a link here, about suicidal players and what to do. And the reality is with the suicidal type player type that he's clearly got, and you'll have to see the video to understand why, it is disrespectful. You're absolutely right. It's disrespectful to you as a GM, and it's very disrespectful to the other players, because this guy is actually saying, if I get bored, I'm going to throw this character away and I don't really care who suffers. And he's likely to make your time as a GM difficult, and the other players around the table are going to have to cover the cost of his suicide. You know, in terms of, because if a man goes down, of course you've got to replace him. So it may not be as simple as it sounds, and it may actually cost someone else their life. So that's so selfish. It's unbelievable. What you need to do is take him to one side or speak to him before your next session and just say, look, you told me what you said, that's fine. What I want you to do is, let's discuss between ourselves what sort of motivation you need so that you can enjoy this character. What are you looking to achieve? What's the goals? What's the aim of the character? What would you like to see happen? And really try and encourage that. Hopefully, for the first time ever in his life, somebody cares enough to understand him as a person and start to get to know him. Maybe you two might become good friends, that'd be great. And maybe you can actually understand what he's looking for and develop that over time. And it needs to be over time. It's not instant. You don't give him everything he wants. It takes time, and he should earn it. But he might come back to the table much more motivated and invigorated, and it won't be so boring for him. However, if he is the type that wants to retire characters a lot, and I've encountered that as well, then just say to him, as long as you retire the character at an appropriate point, that's fine. There's no problem with that. And understand that I can't just stop the game mid-flow while we write up a new character for you. We need to do it at appropriate times. If he does that, that's great. Of course, he may not change, at which point you have to take a much harder line and make a decision. And that decision is going to be tough. Do you really want to carry a player who's going to be this disruptive? Personally, I wouldn't. Now, this brings me on to my second part of the question for you. Now, you asked in a previous video, do you punish players? Yes, and this is the reason why, to be honest with you, sameoldji. You do get a lot of player types that are not that good. They are counterproductive. Of course you'll give them a chance. It's not dictatorial. Of course, I want to be fair to all the people who turn up at the games. But you do find some players that are actually cross what I call the role-playing line, that very fine line between really good role-playing and absolutely rubbish. And if they can't heed a warning, then I'm afraid they don't come back to the table. Not for me, because it's disruptive and disrespectful for anybody else. And anybody that plays a game where everybody's welcome and it's a happy day and it's great down in Farmville, great for them. But that's not the way that it works in real world life. Yeah, if you're doing one-shots, anybody can turn up and run any old character they like, because it doesn't matter, does it? It doesn't matter. It's disposable. It doesn't really care. But you're running a campaign, and by definition, that means it's over the long haul. People have to be prepared for that. Some players just can't hack that, and maybe they're just not right for the group. So yeah, I do take a tough line on certain people. I do make sure that they understand what is good and bad, and it's not my definition of it. It's what the group's definition of good and bad is. Because if everybody was playing that way, it would probably be okay. But you'll find that most people come there because they want to develop a character with you, be challenged by you, and have a great time all round. So you have my advice. I hope it's of some use to you, and I do hope you get a few more other video replies, to get a more firmer perspective of how other people would handle it. But for me personally, it's worked for me, and I don't see why it wouldn't work for you. Anyway, take care of yourself, and happy gaming to all.